This is the latest position that I've reached in modelling pareil, the one of the contenders at the Rainhill Trials, and there's been a number of issues which I've had to sort out and which I've had to sort of approach slowly. So one of them was to try and trim off some of the more obvious additions that were made to the replica, which I also had photographs of, in order to remove them from what I hope is something close to the original. I'm just pausing there because I realise I've got an issue here with the crosshead there showing through the side of this slide here, so I'll have to fix that. Also, I still haven't worked out or I haven't corrected the travel speed of these wheels. They're a little too fast, so it's almost as if they're skating on the rails, they're sliding on the rails, so they just need to be slowed a little bit. What else have I done? Well, a lot of the detail between the cylinders. Now, I had hoped to get information from the museum at Shildon, but nothing came. I never heard, so I just had to work it up from photographs and from a brilliant video, or rather a video of a brilliant model which is on YouTube. So this is the best I can do, really. I think I don't want to do much more in the way of detail because you just end up adding too much. You just go on and on adding detail without really improving the model, but you can see there that needs a bit of a sort out there. However, apart from that, I think I can see what's wrong there. Yes, that's got to have its world origin reset. But so there is a lot more material on it now. There's I've left some of the pipe work relating to the braking system, but the braking system I couldn't see on the original, if there was one, a very simple handbrake, I suspect, and on the replica it was quite a complicated affair which was way beyond anything as existed in 1829. There's a couple of other things I've got to add in. There are chains that link the tender to the locomotive. I want to put a pile of coal in, or rather a part of fuel. Of course this should be coke, but textures of coke look very similar to textures for coal, so that's what it'll be. There are already some attachment points in. There's one for the fireman here, two for the chains that link the two together, and there was this sort of bar attachment as well, which I just left very simple. As for the water barrel, that needs a lid, and so I can lose the polys on the inside of that, on the rim. The lid will cover that all over. The fireman's got to be put in. The driver has got to arrive. On the replica, they put handrails round, and I think that's reasonable, so I'm going to add those in to the to this version, which is meant to be the sort of post Rainhill trial version, the one that you can see in black and white photographs online. And also I've got to add some features on the top of the boiler. That's still missing. What else is missing? Smoke, of course, coming out from the chimney, maybe a wisp coming out of the firebox, which you can see is down there with a fire down the bottom there. And I'm trying to think the other things I've got to bring in. It's one of those sort of models where you start thinking, well, I've just about done everything, and then you realise no, there's more to do. So I deliberately put some more. I've put a shine, a 5% shine reflection on most of it. I think that's okay. I don't think it needs to be less than that. And you can see on the strapping there I've got quite a bit of a shine. When I come to produce the green and yellow version in that livery, which was used at the replica, on the replica for the Rail 150 celebrations, that will have a bit of a gloss to it as well, because that looks to be the way of it. But apart from that, I've got a control arm I've brought in here. There is a little control arm down here. These will become more prominent when this tender, when the boiler and some of the other features here are painted, so they'll stand out in relief. But I wanted to bring them in at this stage, of course, because then it's got the job done. That really is irritating me, that. Quite unnecessarily. So there we are, that's Son Pareil as she is towards the end of August, and hopefully sometime in September, I would say later rather than sooner, I'll have her finished and I can release her, and I'll get on with the green and yellow version. That is really noticeable, that speed there. Look, you can see that the spokes are, as it were, sliding because the wheels are turning too fast for the distance covered. Well, I never claimed to be any good at mathematics, so I've obviously got to sort that out a bit better. I suspect it's something to do with the measurements I made in metric. So Son Pareil on its way, one of the most serious contender against Rocket at the Rainhill Trials, and hopefully before too long everybody will be able to download a copy and have a play as well. So that's all for this update. Watch out for the next one, I guess in about 3 weeks' time.